5 convention, I would oppose ever having one. And that's why I've made very clear that I don't take that view.
Okay, to the right.
I'm Jonathan Marks, non-residential fellow at the Safra Center. I have a concern that the Constitutional Convention wouldn't address things which, international legal norms which have emerged long since the Constitution was drafted, such as the right to vote, under which the current position in relation to D.C., Washington, D.C., is simply indefensible. But my real question is, how can we prevent moneyed and powerful special interests from influencing the 700 delegates, both in terms of agenda setting and in the deliberations that follow? This wouldn't be a runaway convention, rather, but a very tightly controlled and orchestrated one.
If I may respond. How do we stop it from influencing Congress right now? I mean, you have to think in terms of relative risk. The status quo, whether you look at it from the right or the left, in Washington is a runaway convention. Depending on your perspective, it's 70 years old or 30 years old. All that same influence you're worried about happens every single day in Washington. It's the way of doing business. What is beneficial, relatively, about a convention of the states is that it would be your state legislators, according to our research, very detailed research. By the way, it's available at our website, goldwaterinstitute.org/Article 5. Basically, state legislators would dictate how the convention would operate in all substantive ways. And for better or worse, your state legislator is right down the street. You can run into them at the 7-Eleven. And relative to your influence on your congressman, it's not perfect, but it's a little better.
One advantage of lottery selection is that it comes close to solving your issue. There are no elections to buy, and then you have bribery rules, which I'm confident could be enforced. And you really do rely on the integrity of the delegates in the same way that you rely on people chosen for juries. Now, you may or may not trust the jury system, but that's the argument for a jury system.
John, did you want to say?
The question was about special interests, or as Madison called them, factions. And the fundamental divide is what you do about factions. Yes, they are a threat to liberty, but as Madison said, you can either try to get rid of them or control them. And he gave all kinds of reasons why you can't get rid of them, because it destroys liberty, and the only check then is to control them. And I think that's a fundamental issue. The idea that we can get rid of all the bad things in politics if somehow we all come together in a convention. I don't even know how we would get the convention, because Nick says here that you can limit a convention. Well, if you limit the convention, that's got to be in the call. If it's in the call, we're not going to agree, because there will be different calls and they'll be divided. You can get around that by just having every state